does not feel like summer at all. Like, it's literally almost July, and this is like the first time the sun has been out. And it's not even like hot outside. Like, I'm literally in a sweatshirt. I'm literally in hoodies every freaking day. Hello. Today, I'm venturing on something that has always scared me. Today, I'm doing a 24-hour reading vlog. And I'm doing like the cheat code way. I'm not reading for 24 hours straight because that's just crazy. I know I can't do that. So I'm doing the cheat way where it's like I just put a timer on my phone being like, oh, 24 hours. And then I start there. And then, you know, if I'm not reading, I turn it off. But we're going to try to do this as quickly as possible. We're going to try to do this as quickly as the like 24 hours as possible. And we're also going to try to get through as many books as possible. So I'm starting off with Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I already started it. I actually got 2 chapters in. I'm on chapter 3, currently on page 34. So why they've been divorced yet? But his anyways, we don't know why they are divorced yet, and I don't know anything, but you know, I'm interested. So far, Kennedy Ryan's writing is very good, very intriguing. And so this is a great way for me to like stay off my phone. You know, I've been trying to limit my screen time anyway. Now I can like stay off my phone. We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. I mean, the fact that I'm only doing it like the start and stop gives me more of a chance to read more books. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how late in the night, the late hours of the night we can go. Sorry, I can't talk. I can never talk. But basically, I'm doing this. I have to get through my physical TBR. It's getting insane. I've just been reading on my Kindle lately, and my physical TBR it's sad. It's calling my name. And this is a great way for me to be forced to read my physical TBR, because clearly putting books on my monthly TBR is just not doing it. So this is the way for me to do it. So here we go. 24-hour reading vlog starts now. I will be back with some updates. So see you in a minute. Okay, time check. It is currently 9:20. I am now 100 pages into the book, and all I can say so far, you know, since this is a spoiler-free vlog, is that these characters are going through something, you know? Both Yasmin and Josiah like went through like grief, like different types of grief in their marriage, and like that's what basically led to the downfall and the rupture of their marriage. Both like dealing with things, and that's what caused them to end this marriage. And going through being co-parents and co-parenting together, and like the dynamics of like dealing with that, like co-parenting, and then also dealing with having like children at that age. And I think it's like super refreshing to see like she has like 2 girlfriends, and like they have like 2 different ways of life. Like one of them also has kids, and then one of them is like single and child-free, and like just seeing their like different perspectives, like with their like advice that they give her, I just find so refreshing. I really love it, and just feel so much for Yasmin. Like I just feel so much for her, and it's just like every time that like another character is not seeing the things that she's going through, anytime Josiah doesn't see something from her perspective, or another character doesn't see something from her perspective, I just get so irritated. I'm just like, can you just like understand that she's going through a lot? Like, my poor girl, let her breathe. Talk about grief and healing, and also like just one of the issues that they were talking about, like Josiah and Yasmin, they were like talking about therapy, and they both have different views on therapy and like how like helpful they think it is, and like their differences and their different opinion on it, and how that also affects like how they want to interpret it to their children, is also like such important conversations. So like, okay, Kennedy Ryan, do the thing or whatever. So I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna keep reading. Okay, so I wanted to just like hop on here real quick before I go to bed tonight. Well, I'm not gonna go to bed, but I'm done reading for the night because it's like 10:53 and I've just been reading for like 2 hours. Currently, I'm looking at the clock, there's currently 21 hours left. But one thing about this challenge that I realized is I have to do this more often. Like, I'm getting so much reading in, and since I'm like not looking at my phone or anything, I'm not doing anything when the timer starts. I'm just reading and I'm focusing on reading. I'm just getting so much more done. Like, I have to do this more often to get through my physical TBR. Like, for books that I'm just like I keep putting off and putting off and putting off.
I have to just start. I have to like do this like every month or something. I don't know.
But I'm further into Before I Let Go, and I'm really into this book. Like, I'm really into this story. I'm just digging it. Like I said, it's just been so different from like the like cutesy, like, you know, like don't even think twice about romances I've been reading lately. And I'm now on page, like, I'm almost on page 200. I'm like 180 something, and I'm on chapter 20. So I'm starting to get a little bit of some flashback scenes of, you know, some things that were happening, and like more like the destruction of Josiah and Yasmin's divorce. So that was interesting to see, like, what they're both struggling and starting to get some of their like emotional turmoil. So like you just get more perspective, like what they're going through and stuff like that. And what I also really like about this book is the involvement of the children and how their divorce and Josiah's divorce impacts and affects their children, and how Yasmin and Josiah have to work together to, like, you know, basically counteract that and counteract the effects that their divorce put on their children. I really don't want to say too much. Like I said, like, these aren't really in-depth details because this is a non-spoiler vlog. I just wanted you to go through the journey with me as I struggle through 24 hours of reading. So yeah, I think I'm gonna be done with reading for tonight, and I'm gonna pick back up on this tomorrow morning, because it's late and I just don't want to like fall asleep and get like really tired as I'm reading, because then like I want to be able to make sure I'm keeping mindful of that. I have like a clock timing me as well. So I will get back to this in the morning, and the next update will be tomorrow. So see you the next day. Okay, so another day, another sleigh. I was just like reading today, like this morning. I was taking breaks and like watching my show. I basically am almost done Before I Let Go. I got to the epilogue. I'm gonna like share all my thoughts about all the books at the end of this video, but I just want to give an update on the timing at 19 hours. This is why I can't do 24-hour reading vlog. But this timer is going, like, I feel like it's going a minute a second. I'm like,
okay, wait, no. If it started at 24 hours, it's at 19. So that means, have I been reading for 5 hours? I've only read 5 hours out of 24.
This actually might take me like a whole freaking week. This is definitely taking way longer than I thought it was going to. And I'm going crazy. I wanted to do a little update before I finish this book because I wanted to talk about the next book I'm gonna read. I have 4 options and we're just gonna talk about them. So these first 2 options are like ones that are both on my like TBR, immediate TBR, because these are books that I both put on like my monthly TBR for June. So we have The Kind of Gilded Bones by Jennifer O. Arment. So I don't know if this is the time for that, because most likely will not get done. And then we have The Serpent and the Wings of Night, which I honestly kind of want to start this one, but it's like a fantasy one, and this one has a lot of romance. I know it's like the romance is slow burn, but I'm not gonna say I'm kind of not really in the mood for romance lately. Not really in the mood for romance. And then the other 2 options, they're not really on my immediate TBR. These are like kind of books that I had today on my shelf like for a while, and I just never knew when I was gonna like get the like inkling to pick them up. I was like, oh, I figured this is the perfect time to pick these up because it's a 24-hour reading vlog. I have no time to get distracted, and I just need something quick. And these are both YA books. So I have The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. This is the first book in the, what is it called? The Mara Dyer trilogy. The plot is super, super interesting. I don't know what it's about, but I think it's like this girl gets into a car crash and she survives. And she has like no memory of it. So it's like paranormal. It seems interesting. So I have that one, and the font is like super big. So I think that'll be good for a 24-hour reading vlog. And then we have An Ember in the Ashes by Sapar. What? I'm delusional. We have An Ember in the Ashes, which is the first book in the An Ember in the Ashes quartet. This is a 4-book series, and I got this a while ago, but this one is a YA fantasy, and this one also has subplots of romance, but I think it's heavily focused on the plot. Oh, look at the maps. Okay, wait, I'm actually kind of vibing with this one, but I just don't know if I want to deal with like a fantasy with like actual like, I don't, this is nice, but I don't know if I want to deal with like world building and stuff right now. Like, also my mind's kind of like drawing a blank. I don't know. What do you think? Look at these options. Honestly, I think I'm gonna choose The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. This one just seems like the easiest. It's like the shortest. Is it the shortest? It's the shortest. It's paranormal, and it's YA. But I don't have the rest of the books in the series for this one or this one. These two I do. So it's kind of like if I finish these and I really like them, then that gives me an excuse to go shopping for books. So yeah, I think I'm gonna read this one next. So let me just finish before I let go first. And we're back again. I look a little different. It is still the same day. It is currently 10:43, so it's a little bit later than when I last saw you guys. I did some more reading while I was gone, and I've read up to chapter 21 in The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, and the time right now reads 16:36 something, so 16 hours left. There's still too much time, to be honest, but we're just gonna discuss. I'm drinking some tea and I'm reading, so we're getting by. I just want to give a little bit of an update so far. So I'm 140 so pages into the book. I'm liking it so far. I'm very intrigued. I really didn't really know anything going into this book, to be honest, besides the fact that people were like saying it's like paranormal vibes, and like I just knew something about like the love interest, but that's it. I didn't know anything else, and I'm happy I basically went in blind, because so far this book is just, it's super intriguing. I don't really want to give too much of a big plot, because like I said, I would very much suggest going in blind. Start this book with Mara, and she wakes up after having like being in this big accident, but she has no memory of it, and the 3 friends that she was with died. So, and just strange things are happening to her, okay? Strange things, but I'm not gonna say anything else. I'm really enjoying it. You know, I was kind of like nervous about reading this book, like that's why I haven't picked it up yet, because like the last YA book that I read that like it was super, super popular too was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I know a lot of people love that book, like they live and breathe and eat that book. I wasn't the biggest fan. I was very disappointed. I was just expecting more. This book is gripping me. It's intriguing. The plot's intriguing. Like, I think it's just the fact that we just don't know so many things, but it's just keeping us on our toes. Like every little thing that's happening, it's like keeping us on our toes. And it's looking like a little scary. Like it's like a little scary, like the paranormal aspect. I was like, this is exactly what I needed. This is exactly what I needed, because I feel like all I've been reading lately is just romance. I already talked about this, but I feel like I've just been needing something to just like, oh, get me sucked in. And I'm so far, I'm sucked in. So I'm really, really happy. I'm enjoying it. And the writing's super easy because like it is YA. So this is just like the perfect book to pick up during this time. I'm really liking it so far. I'm so excited. Anyways, I'm gonna keep reading. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep reading tonight, but I'm gonna try to go for as long as I can because I don't want this vlog to go on for days and days and days. Like I should have just done 24 hours straight. Oh, I'm a little punk, so it's whatever. I'm losing my mind. Okay, I low-key just want this to be over, but I'm also having a good time, so I don't know. I'm conflicted. I'll talk to you later. I don't freaking know. There's so many different locations for this video, and I don't know what the deal is, but it is the next day yet again. I didn't do any more updates after last night because I just basically read all night and through the morning, and I am now at 11 hours and 51 minutes. So we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. We're slowly getting there. But basically, I just want to say that I finished The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, and it was the perfect book to pick up at this time. It's exactly what I needed. The ending, oh my God, the ending. If you've read this book, you already know the ending shook me to my core. So I picked like 2 options on my TBR that like aren't really romance centered. So I have Beartown by Frederick Backman. I know this one is just like a fiction book. I'm pretty sure like it's just fiction, and it's about this town and the secrets of this small town. I don't really know. I've heard so many good things about this author, and this book is like the most popular one, or like the one that's like most recommended to start or to read from his. So I was like, okay, if I'm gonna start, I should pick up this one. So we have this one, and also it's an HBO original series, so that's lit. So, you know, if I like the book, I can watch the show. I kind of just want to pick up a standalone, and this one is like the closest thing to a standalone without like romance. So I think I'm going to choose Beartown for my next read in this vlog. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. But yeah, 2 books down. I don't know how many more to go. I'm now back. It is currently 3:49. There is now 8 hours and 38 minutes left in our 24-hour reading log. So we're getting there. It's like I started Beartown and I didn't really update, but I'm now on page 193. This book is basically about a town, you know, Beartown, and it's this small town. He exactly tells us where the town is located, but it's this very small town. It has like a lot of like woods and forests, and it doesn't inhabit a lot of people. But the main significant thing about this town is that it's a hockey town. Like, this town thrives on hockey. They love hockey. And basically, like, we're following so many different characters in this story. It's written in 3rd person, so we're bouncing off all these different characters really easily. And I didn't really know much about this book going into it. There's something traumatic that happens. It kind of threw me for a loop, so definitely check your trigger warnings before going into this book. This definitely is like a heavier one. Check your trigger warning. I don't know how to feel right now. It took me like a little bit of a slow start to get into it because like the font is like super tiny. Like I said, it bounces back from so many characters, and in the beginning it was just like hockey, hockey, hockey. Like every other sentence was mentioning hockey. Scared. I'm very terrified. I'm very terrified. And I don't know what's left in, like what else is in store. I'm gonna get back to reading. I'm gonna put all my focus on that. And yeah, I'll holler at you guys later. Okay, so yeah, this one was a big fat miss for me. It was the biggest miss of the century. I don't know. It started decent. I was invested. I was interested. I was like, okay, like this town has got some secrets. Like it was hooking me in with the premise of what it was leading up to. And then the major event happened that continues to get talked about for the rest of this book. And I just hated how they handled it afterwards. The aftermath, I hated it. The ending was just never resolved. Nothing felt complete in this book. And I get that there's like there's other books that has to do with this town. I definitely will not be reading anything else that involves this freaking stupid hockey town, because I don't know why I thought I would like this. I don't know. I just didn't want to read a romance. I wanted something different. And I basically just like sped through the end. Like once I got to like page 250, I just started like skimming. I was just sick of it. I wanted to get it over with. At first I was like, I don't want to read a romance, but now I feel like I should read a romance because this was like the opposite of one. And now I'm like, maybe I just need something like light and fluffy where I like don't have to think at all. So I'm back with another book option. I picked Serpent in the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. It's been on my TBR for a very, very, very long time. So I guess now I'm gonna finally start it because that last book was just such a disappointment. And hopefully this one makes me feel a little bit better. And I heard it's fast paced, and I feel like that's exactly what I need right now. After this, I'm literally not gonna be able to like look at another book for like 2 months. I don't know why I thought this challenge would be a good idea. I don't know why. I do not know why. So this book is like truly putting me in my fantasy romance girly era. Yup. Like this book is eating the girlies up. I think I am like 149 pages in, so 150 pages in, and I'm eating it up. I'm eating it up. It definitely is like everybody said, like it's just a quick start. You get right into the story, like everything's super easy to understand. Even like the made up words, like they basically define it for you right after they say them. It's basically a tournament, and it's made by the goddess of death herself, and whoever wins the tournament, you get granted a wish from the goddess of death, and you just like be granted like this all-powerful wish, whatever. And our main character, Araya, is that how you pronounce her name? She is a human, and her father, the vampire, he's like a vampire king. His name is Vincent, and when she was like little, he like saved her, he protected her, and he basically like raised her as his own, and he's just been like helping her survive as a human in the world where she's basically the prey. 4 hours in the time, so I have 4 hours left. I probably don't know how much more I would get through in the book. Probably won't finish it, but yeah, this is definitely a good pickup from the last book because it'll put me right back on track, because now I'm like excited to read again, and this is exactly what I needed, a fantasy to just be fully absorbed in. Like I needed this. So yeah. I don't know if this looks any good. It looks a mess, but you know what, we're just gonna go with it because it's natural sunlight and it look-keys. That was the end of my 24 hours, and you know, took like a span over like what, 3 days or so to finish this challenge. One thing that this experience has taught me, I would never do that again. I would never do that again. It did something to me, okay? It did something to me mentally to do that. So basically, just gonna give like a little mini wrap up of the 4 books that I read in this video, and you guys can, you know, skedaddle right out of here. You know, I've taken enough of your time. Before I let go by Kennedy Ryan, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit disappointed by this. It's not that I wasn't enjoying my time. I think I was still having a good time. I think I was still engaged. I still tabbed it up a little bit, and I think there were still some good quotes. There was definitely good discussions about mental health and the importance of therapy and different views on therapy. It talked about important things, okay? It definitely had important topics, and I think that Kimmy Ryan is a good writer. I just don't know if she is for me. Like, I wasn't connected to these characters the way I felt like I was supposed to be. And for this to be a romance, I just wasn't that invested in the relationship about Yasmin and Josiah. And also, the biggest issue for me with Josiah is that he was not giving BDE. He was not giving BDE. And it's the way I was picturing him in my head, because of the energy that he was giving and the way that he was acting, he was just giving short man syndrome. He was giving short man syndrome. And there's nothing wrong with short men, but it's like, maybe I could try another one of her books. I heard Real is one that a lot of people like, but yeah, he just wasn't hitting for me the way I thought he was going to. I wasn't obsessed. And I don't know, I just wasn't liking the way that everybody was treating my girl Yasmin, so I had my issues. But yeah, I gave it 3.75 stars. I just was expecting to love it way more than I did. And the next book I read for the reading vlog was The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. I really like this one. I devoured it. I ate it up. It was really freaking good. It was just so easy, quick to read, and it was very intriguing. I loved the plot. I loved the premise. And I gave this one 4.25 stars. Yeah, 4.25 stars. It wasn't the best piece of literature I've ever read, and it definitely probably had its issues and its problems, but it was just the perfect thing at the time. I think also I just wasn't really in the mood for romance, and I just needed something like with an intriguing plot that was easy to read, and this was exactly what I needed at the time. Like, it's YA, it's simple, and it had like a few little scary moments. I was like, whoa, like I'm a little like shaking in my boots. Like, I'm literally shaking in my boots. But of a disappointment, and that was Beartown by Frederick Backman. This was my first Frederick Backman book, and I don't know, I wasn't the biggest fan of this one. I was just having higher hopes. It started off pretty strong. I was intrigued, I was invested. I was like, okay, let's see where this book goes. And it just kept alluding to something big, and I was just like, okay, what is this? Like, I was literally getting scared. Do it for what it was. First of all, the scene was like a little bit triggering for me, and then like the aftermath of it, the way that the big event was handled, I just wasn't a big fan of. I gave it like 1 star. I'll give it like a 1.5. Book I read, you know, to end off the reading vlog good, was The Serpent in the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. I finally read this book after it being on my TBR for literally so long, and let's just say I'm so happy I did. At first when I picked this up, I was like, oh, this is gonna be like the worst time to read it. I was like this last book did me wrong. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pick up a fantasy, but this was perfect. This is exactly what everybody said. It was super fast paced, super easy to read. Like, you jumped right into the story as soon as it starts, and it was just so intriguing. I was so invested. I was hooked. Like, I never wanted to put it down, and then when I wasn't reading it, I just wanted to pick it back up, and I love that feeling with a book. So it was great. I gave it 4.5 stars. Very much enjoyed it, and I think you should read this as well if you are a fan of fantasy romance. I wasn't completely done, but I did end up like finishing it this morning, just like on my own. So that's why I'm talking about it collectively, because I did end up finishing it. But yeah, give this book 4.5 stars. Loved it. Definitely was my favorite out of all the books I read for this vlog. Here are all the books together. This was definitely a fun technique to get some books off my physical TBR, because otherwise I don't know if I would have read 4 physical books back to back to back the way I did with this video. But now I'm actually gonna need like a little break from reading. I feel like if I pick up another book right now, I will be in a reading slump. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm back for more. Bye.